Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit Podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 25th of July, 2019, and this is episode 355. Yeah. We'd like to say a big welcome back.
Sorry, I was getting my pencil.
We love you guys, to all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, if somebody's not a member of our Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
You should join our group on Ravelry. Just hit that join this group button at the top right of the group page and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, because you'll get a shout out on our next episode and be able to participate in all our ALs and giveaways.
That's right, and we have a giveaway going on right now. We'll announce the winners next week. We'll remind you about that at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot, Dammy. A lot. Are you making faces at your pattern?
I don't know what this means.
Oh dear.
What does that say? Eurydice.
Eurydice. Tomorrow it drops, right?
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a little bit too. Okay, but we should get started, I think. So, here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on our needles.
Dammy, what's on your needles?
Nothing right now, because I'm trying to finish up the pattern. Wow.
For?
Persephone. Look at my stickers, too.
They're fantastic.
Persephone. It's going to be a wrap. And I've got most of it done, but dumbly I stopped like partway through of getting this done. So yeah. I just need to keep going. It's just a copy paste, but I need to figure out where I left off. So
yeah.
I don't know how many rows total this is. Oh wait, I think it's supposed to be 48 rows total. Yes, because I'm going one by one and just copy pasting it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is the long way around to do it, but I don't have a charting system on my computer.
It's on that computer.
I know.
And on this computer.
I know.
You should have brought the yarn in here so you could show them the yarn.
I'll show them next week when I'll hopefully have it cast on.
You will. You will.
Oh.
Is there anything else on your needles?
No. There's nothing on my needles. So what's on your needles?
Okay. Oh, crap. Let's see. I stacked everything up over here.
Do you want me to take your Coke so it doesn't spill?
I think that's a really good idea. This episode is brought to you
by Kroger.
Diet Cola.
Big K.
Big K. This episode is brought to you by
the letter K.
So, first up on my needles.
Oh, that tastes so weird.
Why don't you just, set it over there? Because I've got all this stuff stacked. Or there, that's perfect. Is my Summer Top by Ankstreak. That person, yes, I always mess up the name. On US 3's 3.25 mil and US 4's 3.5 mil needles. Yarn is Plymouth Yarn Lanaza hand-dyed in the mauve pink orange colorway. So this week, I thought ahead, and I was like, I'm going to put a stitch marker in where I start. So, Dammy, could you, help me? So, show them how much I did.
That much.
So, at the top of that silver thing. Hey, stop. So, probably, I don't know, how many inches does that look, Dammy? 4 or 5?
4.
So, I did make it to the last skein of yarn. So, this is how much yarn I have left. And I am going to go until, what I need to do is look at the pattern and see how many rows of ribbing it calls for at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And weigh the yarn to see how much yarn it takes to do that many rows plus the bind off and do the maths. And that way I can go till I pretty much run out of yarn. I'm sure because I will account in extra just to be safe, so I'm sure there will be a smidge left, but I'm going to try to use up as much of it as I can because I prefer my tops to be tunic length if possible. Then I have a brand new cast on this week. This is my new design.
Yay.
Yay. And Dammy, do you know what it's called?
Yes.
I'll have 2 coffees and 2 cherry danishes to go, please.
Of course,
Socks.
it has to be Gilmore Girls.
I almost made Dammy act out the scene with me. It's on my project page if you really want to be. So, I'm on US 1.5 2.5 mil needles as norm. And this yarn it's All About You Fidalgo self-striping sock in the Cherry Blossoms version 2.0 colorway. So I will show you the colorway. So that's where my inspiration came from, is that this is Cherry Blossoms. And so that's why the title is having to do with cherries. But this is going to be a very, very easily memorizable, very easy pattern to do on the go. And it just adds just a little pop to self-striping yarn. I mean, you can do it on any yarn, but this is just, I've got, 2 patterns that were specifically designed for self-striping yarn, espresso macchiato socks and chai latte socks. And so this is kind of in that same vein of something that you can use, because so many times if you try to do a pattern with self-striping, it doesn't always look great. And actually, when I first cast this on, I had planned to use a lace pattern. And I did it, and it was just muddied. You couldn't really see it at all. And I was like, okay, we got to go back to basics. Let's do something with knits and pearls and make it happen. And so that's what's going to happen. So I will be getting this out to my test knitters soon. It will be both toe up and cuff down in 56, 64, and 72 stitch. If you are interested in test knitting for me and you haven't in the past, if you go to, is there a link to it on our Java Pearl website?
I think so. I think it's the test knitting tab.
I think
I
so.
think we have a test knitting tab.
I'm pretty sure we do. I'm just double looking. Yes. So if you go to javapearldesigns.com and look for the test knit tab, you can sign up for the newsletter list where I send out my test knits. I need to update this, Dammy, and put the actual picture of my favorite murder.
If you want, or you could leave it looking like a dead body.
Yeah, but I love...
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Hey, that's me.
So, yeah. So if you would be interested, make sure and sign up, and I will send out a newsletter sometime soon for this test knit. Yeah, so I'm loving it so much, and I love, look how the yarn came. I love when this happens. It already came wound up by colors.
So cute.
And she's actually a local to us dyer, and I was gifted the yarn. I think actually I have her business card in here. I was gifted the yarn to design with. Yes, Kathy Green. And I know a couple of ladies in our knitting group bought, they didn't buy the same colorway, but they bought the same yarn at Knitting in the Park, and I think they're both going to test knit for me, but any self-striping would work. So, and then the next thing on my needles, the first one's almost done actually, are happy 8th birthday Wyatt Slippers.
No.
These are for my nephew Wyatt, and I am using the Bed Peds pattern by Yvonne Mendelsohn, except for I have converted it to be toe up instead of cuff down. It's a freebie pattern, and I'm in love with it, and I think I'm going to need to knit some for me. I'm on US 5s 3.75 mil and US 7s 4.5 mil needles, and the yarn I'm using is Vidlana Ambient Worsted in the Dawn Blush colorway, which it's kind of a orangey salmon.
That's what colored salmon are.
Yeah. And then I'm using Red Heart Soft in the light gray heather colorway for the toe. And then what I'm going to do is...
Bro, no.
Somebody's calling, Dammy.
It's Oregon!
We get so many spam calls from Oregon because we have Oregon area codes on our phones. Anyway, So well, and I guess it doesn't really matter to me because Wyatt and Waylon's slippers are going to be the same size. But one of them I'm going to do a rolled cuff in the gray, and the other I'm going to do just a regular traditional cuff in the gray, and that way they can tell them apart since I'm using the same yarns for both of theirs. So I'll make these ones the rolled cuff, and then the next pair the regular, and then let my mom and sister decide which one for which. It doesn't matter to me. So, but I am loving this pattern. Okay, and then next up, I finished this English paper piecing flower. Isn't it pretty?
Pretty.
And
also pokey.
Yes, you have to be careful. I'm doing its sister flower. So I finished the inside. So now the outside will be the lavender top and bottom with the yellow flowers around. Yeah. So doing that, just doing, could you just set that on the coffee table? Just doing a hexagon every day and really enjoying that. And then the final thing on my needles is the Stay Tender cross stitch pattern from Junebug and Darlin. Darlin.
Oh,
because it doesn't have a G. It's Darlin.
I know, it's just cute.
So that's kind of the pattern there.
Oh, my darling.
And I changed the lettering to silver instead of gold. So I finished Tender, and I've done the S, and I'm doing
Tender.
I'm working
Tender
on the T of Stay.
Stinder.
I'm loving it. Oh, I didn't put this in or maybe I did.
Your kitty cat.
No, I didn't put it in Yummies, but I got a needle minder, just a little kitty with a ball of yarn. So what it is it's magnetic, and so your needle attracts to it, and that way you don't lose your needle. So I'm hoping to have the Stay done by next week and have started on the poppies by next week. So one of the things I really love about their pattern, Junebug and Darlin's patterns, is, okay, so there's that one that shows like the big thing, but then it's broken down into like four separate charts, and on the bottom corner it tells you where each chart goes. So that's really nice, so that you don't have to like lose your eyes trying to read the tiny squares, and you don't have to try to like go to a copy machine and enlarge it. She just does it that way for you in the PDF, and then you don't even have to worry about it. So that is really awesome. Okay, well that is everything that is currently on my needles, which means we have some FOs, so we should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished projects. Talk about them.
No, you have a finished project.
Our finished projects. I finished the Orpheus socks. Just don't have it in here because it looks gross because it needs to be blocked. But yeah, you already know what it looks like. I've been showing you, and it's just cast off now.
Good.
Yeah.
When did you cast it off? Last night?
Yeah.
She didn't go to a knitting group with me last night, so that's why I didn't know.
I stayed here and had a party.
You and Pink Pearl.
Yeah.
You got the house back in order before we got home.
I know.
I know, yeah. All right, well, I have a couple of FOs. Of course, my weekly preemie hat. This is number 29 for the year.
Wow.
This is my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on Ravelry. It actually has 7 sizes in it, all the way to average newborn size, so which is what this is. I'm on US 6's 4mm needles, and I used, the purple is Lion Brand Heartland in the Hot Springs colorway. This pink and burgundy here is Neighborhood Fiber Co. Rustic Fingering Gradients, Shades of Fuchsia, color A and color D, and then when I ran out of yarn, I used Reynolds Playtime in the tan colorway to finish it off. So, I think the only purple I have left in my stash is that dusty purple.
Uh-huh.
So when I use all of that up, I will be done with doing hats for Click for Babies. But I've done more than a dozen, I know.
Many.
So I'm going to get those to the right place so that they can be used for that. If you want to know more about that, go to our show notes. There is information there. And I finished my niece Lola's Happy 11th birthday slippers. So this is how they turn out. Again, this is the Bedheads pattern by Yvonne Mendelsohn. I just converted it to toe up. And it's on US 5s, 3.75 mil, and US 7s, 4.5 mil. And the yarn is Uru Yarn Sugared Worsted in the Roses colorway. And I have some of this left, plus I have a whole nother skein. So I think I'm going to have to make these in my size. So Lola's size is in the pattern is a size down from what I would make for me. But I pulled these on just to try them to see what I thought. And I really liked them, so I think I'm going to have to knit me some. So, with those two FOs, I am currently sitting at 12,126.7 meters for Stash Dash. So, to reach my stretch goal of 15,000, I need to complete 2,873.3 meters in the next month. So, I have my summer top. I have the cherry sock. I have Wyatt and Wayland's slippers. I have preemie hats. And then I'll have to look at my list to see what else. But yeah, we'll see. I think a big chunk of it is going to depend on how much I end up getting with the summer top, because that's going to be the most significant amount of meterage that I have left. So, and that is everything that we finished this week. So we should move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Tammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things, things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. I have a lot of Yummies this week.
Go ahead.
So I finally got my hands on a needlework project bag from Opera Joe, who is Joe of Stitching the High Notes. And here it is. I adore sunflowers. They're my favorite flower. And I love this because it has this open window so you can see what project's in there. And it's a flat bag. And she put a music note, or a treble clef. I was about to say clef note, but treble clef stitch marker for the zipper pull.
Are you sure you almost majored in music?
Yes. But I really love it. I think she is sold out of this sunflower one, but I know she has some other ones in her shop. But I had asked her a while back. I was like, is there a chance ever of sunflowers? Because it's my favorite. And so she looked for sunflowers and found some and did it with her summer launch. So, next up, I need to show this.
Pull it. I'm not holding it.
I had to do a Knit Picks order this not this week, but
had to.
Well, yes, I'm going to show you, but I ordered this as well. How adorable is this? Cats and Knitting.
Wait, turn it back to
This is Pinky right here.
Yes, but there's another one I was going to show it. It's the same one.
Oh, so that is Pink Pearl right there. I think I might actually try to get some waterproof Sharpies and color. Because wouldn't that be fun? And it's just a really cool water bottle. I'll let you hold that. So I ordered enough that I got a free skein of yarn. So I got their Galileo base, which is 50% merino, 50% viscose from bamboo, sport weight, in the pearl colorway. So that's pretty. Okay, so now let me tell you why I did a Knit Picks order.
Tell us.
So this is a secret. You are all sworn to secrecy. You cannot tell the Dr. Hubs. Do you promise? Pinky swear?
Pinky, swear.
No, Pinky swear.
Oh.
Pinky swear? Nobody tell him, okay?
You can't message his account on Ravelry that he's never logged into.
Do not tell him, okay? Or else I will not be able to ever tell y'all secrets again. Okay, so when I went to Madrona, there was a booth there that had the
Yes.
these needle minder
Minders?
thingies.
Needle teeth.
Yes, needle teeth. Perfect. But they also have a thing called the Tempestry Project, and it is like calling attention to how temperatures are changing through the years in different locations. And they have been doing like these wall hangings based on like the high temperature in X location in X year or whatever. And they sell kits already made up, but they also provide the information on their website for you to be able to generate it yourself. And they use Knitpicks Wool of the Andes yarn for it. So what I am decided to do is, the Dr. Hubbs is going to be ordained in the Anglican Church of North America. And so I wanted to knit a stole for him, which is the piece that you wear around your neck and down with your robes. And I thought it would be really symbolic to do the last year we were in Edinburgh. So the final day of it is the day that he defended his dissertation. So I pulled the weather data for that full year in Edinburgh and then put it into the thing. Now, I am doing something a little bit different because the length of like the wall hanging that they do would only be enough from like the middle of the neck down one side. So I'm going to do, instead of doing just one row of color for each day, I'm going to do a guard or ridge of color for each day, and that should make it long enough to go all the way around. So I inputted it all in, and it did their magic, and it told me what yarn I needed, and then I doubled it so that I would make sure to have enough to do the full thing. So I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to pull all these out, but I'm going to just show you the bags of yarn.
It's going to be so springy.
It is going to be very springy because the colors are already associated for you in the
Tempestry Project.
Yeah, the Tempestry Project notes. And so I just bought the colors I needed, and I think it's going to be really special.
It looks like it.
It does. It kind of feels, it just feels, makes me, no.
Springy. Look at all that green and yellow.
I'm homesick now. So, yeah. So I'm only going to be able to work on this when he's not around. And I've been hiding this yarn from him since it came.
Where have you been hiding it?
Under my desk behind my paper recycling trash can. But I pulled out my Supernatural tote bag just before we recorded, and then put all the yarn in there, and I can hide it in my bucket that I put all my projects in and work on it during the day while he's gone and knit it. It's probably not going to take super long to knit because it's what is 365 times 2.
Yes.
Whatever that is, and I believe it's 40 stitches wide. So, yeah, so that should be fun, and I'm really excited to do that. This yarn I probably am going to wind and hold double to use in preemie hats, like with other leftover yarns that I have. Okay, Dammy, would you set that over there for now so I can show you the rest? So, last night at Knitting Group, I got presents just because presents, and it was so sweet. So, my friend Kathy, who is Kathy R. in Ravelry, brought me this Gilmore Girls Luke Steiner pen. She was paying me for my opinions of English paper piecing.
Oh.
I was like, I would have given it to you for free. So anyway, but it's very, very cute. So thank you, Kathy. And then my friend Janine, who is Kenny 1007. Kenny 10.
1007.
Although I think that might actually be her birthday. Her birthday's in October. No, her
Her
birthday's...
birthday was in, what, the year 1007?
No, I think her birthday is later in October. Not this... But anyway. She bought me this Hello Kitten pen. And then she, an empty sleeve, yes.
It has a company on it.
It does. She texted me the other day and was like, what Harry Potter house are you in? And I sent her a gift that said, I'm a Hufflepuff. And I said, why? And she's like, I found something. So this is from Hello World Paper Co. in Illinois. And it is this beautiful wooden bookmark. And so it's got the badger there, and it says, I'll teach the lot and treat them just the same, Helga Hufflepuff. And I had just been thinking about buying a new bookmark. And so I was glad I didn't, because she gave me one. So thank you so much to Janine and Kathy for being sweet and bringing me presents. I love them. So, do you have any yummies for this week?
No.
You've been working hard. I went and ate at Dammy's restaurant.
I own it.
She does. With a knitting friend, Joanne, and had moon biscuits. So, upcoming here in just a few minutes, you're going to see in GGK Crafty Pad pics the picture that I took of our food. So, moon biscuits, so that I don't get a bunch of messages saying, what are moon biscuits?
Why don't I say it?
Please do.
Our moon biscuits and gravy are waffle batter.
Take two.
It's not a working day. What are the moon biscuits and gravy? It's a biscuit batter that we take and put in the waffle iron. So it's a biscuit in the shape of a waffle. It's quartered and covered with white sausage gravy.
So the waffle holes are like craters of the moon. And it's really good. So, yeah. So that was fun. Okay, well then I guess let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
Oh my gosh. It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. So we have a list of photo prompts for each month. So what you do is you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
Yes. So July is coming to a close. So we released the August list this week. And August is a celebration month because it is when the Geeky Girls Knit podcast began.
Moved to Edinburgh.
We also moved to Edinburgh in August. So it's kind of a celebration thing for us because it'll be 7 years at the end of August that we've been podcasting.
We have a little baby cake. Little baby cake.
I was thinking about an ice cream cake.
Can it be a little baby one because it's cute?
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Because we don't need ours. 12-inch diameter cake.
I don't know. We'll have to look and see. But I thought an ice cream cake would be yummy, so we might do that. So, so if you want to know, more about GGK Crafty Pad, there's a link in our show notes and the prompts list. Excuse me. We're about to show you, but also it's there, and you can save it to your phone or add it to your Google Calendar. There's a link there to do that. All that stuff. So,
oh
I know, seriously. So, Dammy, what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Great job! Yay! So it is never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. Today, because I've already posted mine, the day we're recording this, it was 12 o'clock. So it's a good thing I set an alarm to remind myself because I don't think I'll be awake at 12 o'clock tonight. So,
you aren't.
I hope not to. That means I have bad insomnia if I'm still awake at 12. So you interpret the prompt however you want. We're very cheater friendly on that. Post your picture on Instagram. Make sure in your caption you use hashtag #GGKCraftyPad. You can also feel free to also include hashtag #GGKKittyPad, hashtag #GGKPuppyPad, and hashtag #GGKHuggyPad if you desire.
Someone posted their bird, so you can do GGK Birdie
Pad. That's cute.
Birdie.
That is really cute.
Birdie.
And yours might get chosen. If you're participating in GGK Crafty Pad and you have a private account on Instagram, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you. Otherwise, we can't see your photos. So send her a message and she'll follow you, and that way your photos will be considered. Okay, upcoming events. I've added a new event. The Fall Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl is the first weekend in October. The Fiber Fusion Northwest is at Evergreen State Fairgrounds in Monroe, Washington, the third weekend in October. And I am so excited because my friend Ann Tudor that does the glass stitch markers is going to be there, and I'm going to get to meet her in person for the very first time. And I'm so excited. If you're not busy that weekend, you could take public transit up and meet us and ride with us.
How far is Monroe?
We have to go across at Edmonds, and then it's about a half hour, 35-minute drive. So, and then I'm attending a one-day knitting retreat in November, and it's already full. It's hosted by Allen Knit Shop. Okay, I think that is everything for events, although I may have another non-knitting event as well in October, but I'll update y'all. We're waiting to find out ticket prices on it. So, okay, well, yes, Pinky's taking a bath under the coffee table on top of her throne, which is a long, not very deep Rubbermaid tub that I put my English paper piecing flowers into because they lay flat when I finish them. So, it also has cross-stitch stuff in it. So, but she thinks it's her throne. Okay, let's move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Jamie?
I'm almost done with Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. There's two of them. And then I'm also reading The Glass Scientists, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo.
So do you think you'll have Good Omens finished this week?
Yeah, probably.
And then what are you reading again next?
I have no idea.
I thought you had said you were going to read some. Oh, you were going to read Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I assume you're getting your 15 minutes a day in?
Yes.
What am I referring to?
The July, August, September. Wow. Read along.
So we are doing seasonal as well as a year-long read-along this year. You read at least 15 minutes a day every day, and I don't care what you read as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. And all the details are in the show notes. Hi, Pinky. As well as in the thread in the Ravelry group. There is a finish line thread where you post, and then we will choose 3 grand prize winners from the year-long read-along at the beginning of next year. She's
sniffing your foot. I thought I would tickle you.
She does this every time she jumps up on the ottoman. Oh, she sees something new over there, Danny.
You gotta lay on it.
My supernatural bag. Every time she jumps up on the ottoman, she sniffs my toes.
Bag.
Yeah, so we'll have 3 grand prizes at the beginning of 2020. So, what I'm reading. I have not started a new nonfiction yet because I was waiting for one that I knew was about to come in from the library. Thank you for sitting on my bag, honey.
Aww.
I appreciate it so much. And the Dr. Hubs just picked it up yesterday, so I'm going to start that today. But I am continuing to reread Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, book 4 by J.K. Rowling. with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. This week's chapter was, is it the pensive or pensive? Pensive, however you say it. But Swish and Flick had so much things to discuss that they'd actually divided the chapter in half. So it'll still be that chapter this next week as well. I'm also continuing to reread The Fiery Cross, which is the 5th book in the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. And I am rereading it to be inspired to design my 5th Outlander pattern for the upcoming 5th season of the TV show. And that will be a collaboration with Julia of Pandia's Jewels. I read book 9 in the Cat Who... series by Lillian Jackson Braun. I read The Big Kahuna, which is the 6th book in the Fox and O'Hare series by Janet Ivanovich. I read The Program by Charlie Lovett. This one was actually really thought-provoking. Kind of the basics of it is there's this company that offers to remake women's bodies into the body that the average male of the species prefers. And it's like $10,000 to have it done. And there's several different storylines throughout it, but there's like one where the wife like took their vacation money and did this, and then her husband didn't like how she looked, and she did not take things well. I won't go further than that. But then there ends up like this really kind of interesting spin on it. But anyway, it was still a really interesting book, and it was really thought-provoking, especially with some of the things that are going on around body image and body shaming and fat phobia and such that is going on in our world right now. So, and then I started last night The Dry by Jane Harper. It's the first book in the Aaron Falk series. It's set in Australia.
Land down under. Yes,
and there is this guy who he's a police officer, but he does like the financial crimes. But and a friend of his dies in what appears to be a murder-suicide, but is it really? And then there's some lying. There's some lying that has gone on, and like something else that happened like 20, 30 years ago, and all of that. So. So he's trying to discover the truth. Is it really what it seemed, or did something else happen? And how well did he really know this friend? Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff. So I am reading that right now. Do you want to start with watching?
Just one moment. I'm in the middle of a row.
Tammy is working on her pattern, copy and pasting. And it's always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire.
Okay, so we watched Mary Poppins Returns.
What did you think?
I liked it. It was cute.
It was
cute.
What
did you think of it?
I liked it. I especially loved the cameos by Dick Van Dyke and Angela Lansbury because they're just so freaking adorable. They're in their 90s. Mm-hmm. They are only like 2 months difference in age.
She's older.
She is. So she is now the oldest actress to be in a Disney movie, and he's the oldest actor to be in a Disney movie. So, and I liked, there was a lot of little cameos, including the woman who originally played Jane in the first movie had a cameo as well. And so that was cute. So it was a cute movie. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda did a really good job in the role. And, yeah, so I enjoyed it. Okay, I am continuing to watch The 100. So I finished seasons 2 and 3, and I'm watching season 4. I was actually watching it right before we started recording. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's intense. No joke. End of the world. Who's going to survive? We don't know. Do you want to talk about the next one?
Victoria, we're watching Series 3. They're having fights.
They are. I think we only have like maybe 4 episodes left. So, yeah. I watched season 4 of Veronica Mars, so it dropped a week early as a gift for Kristen Bell's birthday at Comic-Con. And it was like, I think it was 8 episodes. I had gotten a little spoiled in the fact that I knew a main character was going to die, but I didn't know who. And it doesn't happen till like the last 10 minutes of the final episode. Oh. And I was like, if you don't want to be spoiled, they killed off Logan.
Poor Kay.
Right after he got married to Veronica.
Oh.
Like, literally, they were still in their wedding clothes.
Is this saving hope?
No. And I've read some articles since, both by the creator, which I can't think of his name right now, as well as by Kristen Bell, who produced this season. And I understand why they did it, but it still makes me sad. So, yeah. So they're hoping to do another season. But the focus is kind of, if they do another season, the focus is going to kind of shift to being more of a detective show versus it being a teenage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, okay, you're up.
What? Oh, we're watching season 7 of Elementary. More things happened.
I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I.
This is awful. We used to be so good at writing notes about what happened.
I wrote too many notes about what happened. Dogs. Dog! The dog. A dog was kidnapped. Dog napped, if you will.
That's right. Okay.
Dog napped, if you will.
Okay, and then?
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6.
There was the whole thing with...
Chaos.
With chaos, yeah. It was insane. And then...
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, seriously. I think we're kind of all ready for this storyline to be over with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and was it just this last week that we learned that next season is going to be the final season?
I think so, yes.
Speaking of that, Netflix announced that they are not doing another season of Designated Survivor.
RIP.
I got a message from Janine this morning. Some of what I've heard is because it was on network TV for the first 2 seasons, and then it was canceled, and then Netflix picked it up for another season, and you could definitely tell the difference of what Netflix was putting into it versus what was allowed on network TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might have some to do with it. But I'm sad, because I really liked the show. Okay, Instinct, I'm watching season 2, and I'm watching Poldark series 5. It's the final series of Poldark as well. Listening to my favorite murder podcast, the Hadestown OBCR. The rest of the album drops tomorrow, and I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited?
Yeah. I'm making a pattern for it.
Yes.
How could I not be?
And what about you?
I listen to Cabin Pressure, as always. Also, In the Heights.
I didn't know there was an OBCR.
In the Heights? It came out in 2008.
Oh. Okay, I
You've
guess.
listened to it.
Okay, I must have slept since then. They're casting for a movie version of it, though.
They're filming a movie version.
They're filming
of it right now.
They film. That's right. Patrick Page is doing something in it. We don't know what.
One white guy.
Very excited. Okay. That is everything we're reading, watching, and listening to, Dammy.
Mm-hmm.
Easiness. So we should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our June, July, August.
Summertime and the living is easy.
Ow. So, this along started on the 1st of June and it runs through the 31st of August. It is for any project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to summer. If you can't think of anything, you made it in the summer.
That's right.
There are a couple main rules. The first is that no whips are allowed, so your project has to have been begun no earlier than the 1st of June and then finished no later than the 31st of August. The second main rule is that each project of at least 20 yards that you finish and post in the FO thread count as one entry, but if your project is not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single post with other projects that together total at least 20 yards.
Yes.
You can feel free to poly dip in other alongs as long as it fits in with the other rules. That's totally fine. We have lots of lovely prizes on our screen right now. Thank you so much to everyone who donated prizes. And if you'd like to get a closer look at our prizes or see where they came from, you can go to our show notes at geekygirlsknit.com or tune in to the first podcast of every month where we talk about them in detail.
Yes.
If you are interested in donating a prize, you can PM Java Pearl on Ravelry or email us at geekygirlsknit@gmail.com. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry in order to participate. There is a hashtag if you'd like to tag your projects or post on social media. It's GGK Summertime 19. The FO thread is going to be locked on the morning of the 1st of September, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that, and any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. We have a chatter thread where you can post your progress, and it's where I give shoutouts to people who finished projects, but I also do that here, so I will do that right now. D Dorf 4, DG White, DJID, Elsa and M, I Now Hour, Philippa MC, I Knit Socks 2, Knit Central, Lil Angel SG2, Mystery Sewer, Nicole S, Psycho Hulakian, Restrauss, Shirley Knits 123, Silver Luna 2112, and Yellow Cat 2.
Great job, everybody. I'm trying to change needle sizes. Yeah, so keep working on those projects. You have a little over a month to get your... Yeah, a little over a month. I second-guessed myself. This summer has flown by so quickly that I'm like, oh. Yeah, and you might be a prize winner. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
Yes, so what is this week's question, Dammy?
This week's question comes from Denise, who is Fuzzy Kit from Michigan. Cece, I know you have said, or at least I remember in some reality, possibly only mine, that you are not much of a cook or not a fan of cooking. Has that changed at all? Who does most of the cooking in your household? What are some of the favorite recipes that are made in your kitchen? Is there a preferred cookbook or cooking tool that you use?
I am not a fan of cooking. I can cook, but I'm not a fan. And I continue not to really cook, especially with Dammy gone to school during the school year. Yeah, I don't cook. So, the Dr. Hubs and Dammy do most of the cooking. Dammy's on sale for $8.95 in case anybody would like to buy her to try her cooking.
That's actually my hourly rate. So.
Oh, it's not even minimum wage.
Not in this state. In other states, it's way above.
So... if I am cooking, what?
You just got so off track because I put a sticker on my head.
Distractions are damning. If I'm cooking, I prefer to use the crock pot. I have a recipe that a friend gave me years ago that is my favorite thing to make, crock pot pizza.
Pizza.
It's very easy. You boil your pasta.
Cooking.
And you cook any meats that you're wanting to put on it.
Beef. Turkey.
We usually do ground turkey. And then in the crock pot, you start with the pizza sauce to help it not stick. You also spray it with stuff so it doesn't stick. And then you're layering your pasta, your sauce, your meats, your
cheeses,
your toppings. We usually put black olives and mozzarella cheese. And you do like 2...
You do as many layers as
you can.
With your size of crock pot and amount of ingredients.
Yes, and then you cook it. You're just trying to melt the cheese through. And it is a great, easy recipe to do. If you're having like a party or something, you can do multiple crock pots and have different toppings in each one.
Totally delicious.
Yeah, it's a really economical meal that will feed a lot of people. Or if you've got a smaller family, you have lots of leftovers. So that's one of my favorites to do in the crock pot. We also sometimes do in the crock pot like a pork tenderloin, and we cook it in, in the UK we cooked it in ginger beer. Over here we tend to cook it in root beer. And,
sugary.
Yeah. So you cook it, you put the meat and you put the ginger beer or root beer in, let it cook all day to get the meat done. You dump everything out of the crock pot, shred the pork, put it back in with a bottle of barbecue sauce. We prefer the one that's the sweet honey. Let it warm through, and then you can serve it like over pasta with cheese, or you can serve it over rice, or you can make like pulled pork tacos with it. I also can make mean enchiladas, but not in the crock pot. We also have a recipe that my mom gave us that it tends to be our go-to, like if we're taking a meal to someone, like after they've had a baby or they have been in the hospital sick or whatever, a casserole that is spray, so it doesn't stick, rice with boneless, skinless chicken breasts on top, dump a can of cream of chicken soup, fill the thing up with water, foil, cook it on 425 for something.
An amount of time.
Make sure the water doesn't boil completely out until your chicken is done. And then you have a meal that usually lasts us for 2 meals because we tend to do it like in the larger casserole dish. What else?
It's like literally all we eat.
We eat
breakfast burritos.
We eat a lot of like breakfast burritos or tacos or burritos.
Which are just ground turkey, refried beans, and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Chicken quesadillas. I would eat Tex-Mex every day though, if I could, because that's like my favorite food is Tex-Mex. Dammy, do you have anything to say about cooking since you do a big chunk of it?
No. I mean, at school I cook ramen.
Yeah.
And the lean cuisine meals from the freezer section on our on-campus store.
Yep. Okay, did I answer everything?
Yeah.
There you go.
Preferred cookbook, your mother.
Yes. Like, if I have it, like, now in, like, my Google Drive, but before the internet was, like, a huge thing, I would forget to write down how my mom makes the chicken and rice casserole, and so I'd have to call her and be like, okay, tell me again temperature and everything.
Hi, I'm making food.
I'll be like, hey, Mama, I'm making your chicken and rice casserole. And she would tell me.
Again.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much to Denise for the question. If I'm remembering correctly, hold on, I'm double checking.
We need more questions.
No, we don't need more questions. Okay. Well, I mean, you can ask more questions, but we have a lot.
Questions.
Because Fuzzy Kit gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions.
There's a question for Pink Pearl.
There is a question for Pink Pearl.
For the baby.
That's you. So we have, for the next 7 weeks, you'll be getting questions from Fuzzy Kit. And then we have a question from Crafty Textile Lady and Earl Grey Knitter 2. So we have enough questions to last us the next 9 weeks.
Good.
So, but if you have a question, what should they do, Dammy?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
There's not been a single question we haven't been willing to answer, so feel free to ask. If it's something we truly aren't comfortable answering, we'll tell you that. But thus far, in the how many ever years we've been doing Ask the Geeky Girls, there hasn't been one. So, all right. I think we're ready to move on to the next segment. We made it to the end of the show.
Yay!
Yay. This one's been kind of crazy. Y'all haven't seen it all because we haven't been recording part of it.
Bath time for Pinky.
Pink is taking a bath on top of my Supernatural bag, just in case you wanted to know.
She's warming up the bag.
Yes, that I put yarn into. Okay, we do have a reminder that the lovely Delisa McMillan, who's Delisa on Ravelry.
I think it's Delissa, like Melissa. I think. She'll have to correct us because she might be watching or listening. So
yes.
Why don't you tell us which one of us is right?
I apologize.
Delisa or Delissa?
Seems wrong all the time. She posted on Instagram this week that she was doing data entry, so she was actually able to watch and not just listen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, is that a nice bath?
So she has a shop on Etsy called Mom of Three Silly Boys, and she gave us 3 sets of stitch markers to give away. 3 prize winners will each win 1 random set. To enter, go to her shop on Etsy and tell us in the giveaway thread in the Ravelry group which set of stitch markers are your favorite, and we will keep this giveaway open until we record episode 356 next week, and then Siri will draw some random numbers for us, and you'll have 30 days to claim your prize or you forfeit it. And thank you again to her for the donation of the stitch markers. Do we have any other announcements?
I think that's it.
Okay, well, then let's talk about our normal stuff. A huge thank you to everybody who supports our podcast, no matter how it is you do it, but especially to those of you who support us financially, because unfortunately it does cost money to do a podcast. We love you guys. If you would like to support the podcast financially, there's 3 ways you can do that. The main one is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on the level you donate at. I will be doing, it won't be next week, it'll be the week after that I do rewards for the month. If you would like to know more about it or want to sign up, Dammy?
Patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
What's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
And we are Amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our website first, look in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes, click on the appropriate link or image for your country's Amazon. Shop as normal. We will earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you'd be doing anyway. And especially with back to school coming up, it's a great time to help support the podcast.
I'm just watching my cat take a bath.
She's so fun. So, Dammy, why don't you tell them where they can find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online. YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
Yes, and with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. I know there's a heat wave hitting right now in lots of places. There's a heat wave in Edinburgh right now. It's like it was like...
mid-70s?
Yeah, upper 70s, I think, when I checked it this morning, which would have been afternoon for them. Yeah, so stay cool, stay hydrated, and take care of yourself, and enjoy lots of crafting time. Until next time, bye.
Bye. Got a box here of something I'm gonna take to my dorm when I go back to school. Let's see what's inside. Okay. Wait, what is that? No one told me this box contained live animals.
Pinky! Are you in a box?
It's an enormous box. Are you ready to go back to school with me? Okay. Found you.